Like, don't crap where you eat or something like that, right? But nonetheless, everybody's crapping where they're eating, so I don't know what's going on. But anyways. What's up, internet fam? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new there, hi, hello, my name is Ren, and I make LGBTQ lifestyle videos for you guys. So if that type of content interests you, then hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, so I look a hot mess. I was at a water park for like the whole weekend, but I was like, you know what? We have to do the next chaotic L-word recap. So let's just go ahead and get started on episode 7. Okay, so I have to say that I think I enjoyed this one. This was a good one. I feel like there's a lot of good things happening, and I'm excited for like all the couples that came into fruition this episode. So first off, we're gonna talk about Tess and Shane. So they're doing good, guys. They're doing good. Shane is taking her to her AA meeting, and it's just so cute. And so anyways, Shane sees Carrie, and that kind of gives her like a, oh shoot, like you saw something that you probably shouldn't have seen, or you didn't want to see because you don't want to know extra information, but she does. And she kind of, keeps it under wraps, but Tess and Shane are throwing a charity event, poker thing at this big venue or whatever. And so they're doing their thing. And eventually later on during the afternoon, they catch Carrie, and she's been kind of drinking a lot. But she told Shane earlier that she was there because she was eating and not because of drinking, but because she had an eating problem. And so Shane's like, okay, but she sees her get really drunk. And Tess is like, oh, like we have to call our cab because we can't. And then eventually the two of them just drive her home. And honestly, my heart just, sorry, Midgie. My heart just really broke for Carrie this episode. I mean, it was brutal for her. This episode was just pure brutality on Carrie, and it really just kind of like hurt my soul because I just felt like so bad for her like the whole entire time. And I was like, in the beginning, I was so like meh with Carrie. I was like meh, but now I'm really heartbroken for her, and I feel extremely, extremely bad for her. So they take Carrie, inside her house, and basically she's been telling them that she doesn't feel good enough and that she doesn't think that she can marry Tina. And I was like, oh my God, like is she gonna end the marriage with Tina? Like, what? I'm shook. Like, I just feel so bad for her, like extremely bad, because she just feels like she can never measure up to the rest of them or be part of Tina's circle or get, any type of good vibes from Bette, So anyways, they shut the door or whatever. They're walking back to the car in the rain, and Shane's like she told her she couldn't do anything, do any of this without her. And it was just like the cutest moment. And Tess stops, and she's in the rain, and she legit, she kisses Shane. I've been so waiting for this moment. I was so excited. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I wanted them to kiss so badly, and they did, and I was so flippin' happy. It was like 10 out of 10, perfection. Next we have Dani and Gigi. Well, Dani and Gigi, they're meeting for like a little lunch, and they're talking, and Gigi wants to talk about what she said when they were having the ice cream, that her feelings had changed. And Dani was kind of like, I thought it was kind of crappy. Thought it was kind of crappy. Timing sucked. I needed a friend. I was going through a lot, and you kind of sprung that on me. Then she kind of lets drop that she's kind of unsure about how Bette would feel about the situation. And Gigi's like, that's what it's probably really about, right? So she said, if it bothers you so bad, ask Bette what she thinks. Gigi thinks that, Bette was not really interested in her, so she won't care. But if you are so worried about it, go ask her yourself. Dani's like, she's thinking about it. So Dani goes to the event. Gigi does not. And she's trying to just, enjoy her time, But Finley wants to talk to her. And I'm like, why does she keep wanting to bombard this poor girl? Like, I mean, she's had a lot of, things happening lately. Let's just let the poor girl be. Do you know what I'm saying? But she wants to ask her. She wants to be better. And, you know, she really doesn't care. You know, honestly, she really doesn't care. And I mean, do I blame her? Not really. I mean, Finley ruined her, you know, her life, basically. Well, part of her life. So, I mean, yeah, like, why would I give you advice? Like, just go. Do what you gotta do, you know? And basically, she's like, everybody thinks I'm so strong, but, you know, I need people too. I break down too. And I was just like, I felt for her. Like, yeah, like, everybody expects her to be like so strong and take everything so carefree. But I mean, she's only human, you know, there's only so much she can do. So she's in the bathroom, right? And Nat and Alice are in there, and she asks them kind of like what they would think if she would go with Gigi. And Nat's like, oh, she wouldn't care. And Alice is like, yeah, she won't. She doesn't care. And Nat's like, yeah, Gigi can't stop talking about you. So where does she go? She goes to Gigi's house, right? And they kiss. So we have 2 for 2 now. We have Tess and Shane, and we got Gigi and Dani. So I'm so excited. Those are the 2 that I wanted to happen, and we got them in episode 7. So I was thrilled. I was so excited. But Gigi's like, come in, and Dani's like, skirt, like, I'm not ready for that yet. Which, I mean, I can understand that, but still, the chemistry between them 2 is just delectable. And next we have Bette is talking with Pippa, right? And basically she gives her the concrete deal that Pippa was wanting. But Pippa's kind of like, she's kind of like hesitant. But after talking through with Bette, she goes through with it because Bette basically is telling her she's going to be there for her. She's going to help her. Like, it's going to be great. So she does it. So she invites her to kind of celebrate at the poker event thing. So Pippa and Bette go together, and everybody's like, oh shoot, like that's Pippa, like that's the one that Bette can't stop talking about. And Bette is at the table waiting for Pippa to come, and Carrie walks by. And I just, like, this whole episode just broke my heart with Carrie. Like, I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't take it. But Carrie's like, oh, you know, I thought we could kind of like talk and things. And Bette's like, no, I'm here with someone. Like, goodbye. And I'm just like, ugh. And she basically just like annihilates Carrie. And I'm just like, Bette, it's a bad situation, I know, but I just feel like this poor lady is trying so hard. And it's just like, I don't know, I just really felt for Carrie. And I felt Bette was just like really mean. And I just felt really bad for her. But Carrie, nonetheless, like, she finally realizes that she's not going to get anywhere with Bette, so she just leaves, right? And Bette's, you know, is with Pippa, and they're talking, and, you know, things start getting a little bit heated, and they go to the Zakarian like office, right? And there's like this crazy art installation, like gorgeous, beautiful lights everywhere, and they freaking do it in the art installation. I'm like, what? I'm like, first of all, Bette, that is so unprofessional. Like, I don't understand why all these people are like doing it in like their workplaces. I'm like, isn't there a saying like don't crap where you eat or something like that, right? Isn't there a saying like don't crap where you eat? I think there's a saying like that. But nonetheless, everybody's crapping where they're eating. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very hot scene between the 2 of them. It was really hot. It was beautiful, especially, it was just so artistic looking, and it was just gorgeous with like the lights and everything. So it was definitely a very interesting segment right there. But I'm still just like, I still miss Tina and Bette, you know, I do. I mean, nothing against Pippa, like, she's freaking awesome, but like, I just miss the Tina and Bette chemistry. But yeah. Next we have Alice. Alice was eating, you know, a little brunchy brunch with Bette when she sees Nat and Gigi together, and she's like, well, I should be like the bigger person and go say hi, right? So she goes and she says hi to Nat when Gigi goes to the restroom, and it kind of sets them off to banging again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, she just banged Tom, and now she's banging Nat again. And I'm like, oh, I don't think Tom's gonna like that. I just don't think he's that type of person. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's that type of person. So I think that will kind of upset him or annoy him or something. But I don't know, I could be wrong. But anyways, so they go together to the poker event, right? And like, they can't get enough of each other. And they're just going at it again in the bathroom stall. And yeah, she's like, again, anyways, so Shane's talking to her about it, and I think Alice finally sees that, like, nothing has changed, and nothing is gonna change. Nat is still Nat. She's still gonna be how she is, and there's nothing she can do. Like, nothing's gonna change. So she kind of ends up, like, cutting it loose, like, again. And I'm like, oof, poor Nat, because I guess she thought that they were maybe getting back on the right track. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm thinking that's donezo. Now she's just gonna tell Tom what she did. Next we have Sophie and Finley. They are just like at each other's throats constantly, like all the time, right? And they're doing it, and, you know, at the house, then they're at work. Sophie's really anxious about this new, I guess, the new segment or something. I don't remember. And and so Finley shows up, and they start banging in the workplace, and I'm like, what is up with people banging in the workplace? Like, seriously, if somebody tried to bang me in my workplace, I'd be like, skirt, skirt, like, stop. No, not in the workplace. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a prude or something, I don't know, but I'd be like, not in the workplace, please. But yeah, so we have two people banging in the workplace this episode. I'm just like, why? No, just saying, don't crap where you eat. Anyways, so Alice tries to, like, walk in to introduce Sophie to this head honcho guy, but she can't because they're, you know, doing it in the freaking workplace. Anyways, they go to the event, get drunk. I already mentioned Finley talks to Dani. And so yeah, so they leave, and they're getting hot and heavy again against the car. And so they get in the car and they're driving, and then what happens? I got so excited, I just hit my hat. What happens? They get pulled over by the cops, and I'm just like, and Finley was kind of like freaking out. So I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening. Maybe she's over the limit, maybe something, I don't know. But yeah, not a good thing, okay? Lastly, we have good old little Angie. We didn't see her last episode, but basically she's getting questions ready for her donor dad, and, you know, her girlfriend is just doesn't seem like she cares too much. It's not really helpful. It's not really there for her. And Angie's kind of like, well, okay, fine. Like, we're gonna break up. Like, you know, I need somebody who's more, like, supportive, I guess. And so, yeah, she's ready to break up with her. And so Jordy's like, you know, they're meeting somewhere, right? And Angie's like, I'm gonna break up with her. But when she gets there, she has, like, this whole, like, freaking, like, what is it called? When, like, people start dancing? Flash something like that, right? So she goes, and they're all just, like, in the fountain dancing with umbrellas, and I'm like, what's going on? And then Jordy asks her to prom, and then they're like, okay, so they didn't break up, because I guess Jordy was just being a little bit distant because she had this, like, big thing planned for her. So yeah, they're still going good. So all in all, I enjoyed this episode because my two mains got it on, and I was so excited about that because I've been waiting for Tess and Shane and Dani and Gigi to get together. I'm really into these couples. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what happens. So I think there's only 2 episodes. 7, 8, 9. I think 3. There's 3 more episodes left, so I'm excited to see what happens with them in the last 3 episodes. Really pulling for seeing Martina again, but we'll see. I think I saw somewhere that was Carrie's last episode of this season. So yeah, I don't know what happens if that's her last episode. I don't know, but we'll see what happens in the last 3 episodes. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Which couple getting together was the most, like, exciting for you? Let me know down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little chaotic recap, and I will see you next week with another one. Much love, guys. Mwah.